All right, before I go to the next problem, I wanted to just sort of note something. I noticed in the book when I checked the answer here, they gave me as the answer A equals 64.8 degrees and B equals 40.2 degrees. Okay, so the reason they did that was because instead of using the 15 as I used it, they used probably the 223.53, this number, the square root, when calculating um, sine of B. Okay, just want to keep that in mind. It's best to try to keep the numbers as best as possible. We've sort of, if that does happen, just send me a message in MyLabs Plus. I can take a look and see if you are reasonable or not. But we've sort of ironed some of those problems out in the course, okay? All right, let's keep going. We're going to do number 30. So number 30 is giving us A equals 14, B equals 6, and C equals 10. So this is a side, side, side triangle. Okay, so now one of the things that I want to sort of keep in mind when doing a side, side, side triangle is you always wonder which side should I start with? Or which angle should I start finding? And I make the argument that you should always start with the angle across from the largest side. Okay, and the reason for that is this. The law of cosines can tell the difference, can tell you if you have an obtuse angle or an acute angle, whereas the law of sines cannot. Okay, so when you're looking for the longest side, you're going to know if you have an obtuse angle or not. Okay, so if you have an obtuse angle, then it's going to have to be across from the longest side. We saw that in the 6.2 videos, right? So we're going to do that same thing, same reasoning. You can only have one obtuse angle, okay, and it has to be across from the longest side. So that sort of gets rid of any of these, well, maybe it's this or that. You don't have the two possibilities going on, okay? Side, 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 you only have one triangle. So let's go ahead, let's start. So this was number 30, as I said. 30. Okay, so let's start with saying that a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. And this cosine of a is what we want to sort of get by itself. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and solve for cosine of a. So I'm going to say, all right, a squared minus b squared minus c squared equals negative 2bc cosine A. And so cosine of A equals C squared plus B squared minus A squared divided by 2BC. So the signs changed because I have this negative here, right? So when I move this and divide by it, I'm going to flip the signs on the numerator as well. Okay, so plugging that in, I get cosine A equals, let's find out, 10 squared plus 6 squared minus 14 squared divided by 2 divided by 6 divided by 10. Inverse cosine, and I get 120 degrees. Okay, so now, if I had done law of sines, or if I started from another angle, then when I got to A, I would have had 60 as my answer. Okay, and then I would have had to decide, is it 120 or is it 60? This takes away any of that deciding. This is, sorry, cosine of A is -1/2. A is 120. Okay, so now we have A is 120 degrees. So now we can use the law of sines to find all my other angles. Okay, so sine of B over 6, sorry, sine of B over B should equal sine of A over A. So that tells me sine of B equals B sine of A over A. Okay, so that gives me sine of B equals. Remember, I'm using this information together with now this information. So sine of B equals, let's see, 6 times 120 sine divided by 14. So I get 0.37. Inverse sine, I get 21.78, which is approximately 21.8 degrees. Okay. Do I have to worry about the other angle? I don't have to worry about it. Okay, the other angle that has the same sign is 158.2 degrees. But again, I don't have to worry about it. Okay, reason I don't have to worry about it is, again, because A is the largest angle, right? So 158 is bigger than 120, so this one can't work. Okay, so the same thing with sine of C, or with C. So sine of C over C equals sine of A over A. This implies then sine of C equals C sine of A divided by A. Okay, so let's use our information. Oh, this should have been B, not sine of B. Sorry, that was bothering me. So, same thing. C equals, okay, so I'm going to use 10 times 120 sine divided by 14 inverse sine, 38.2. Oops. How'd that get there? Okay. I could have also, except I'm stupid sometimes, just said this plus this should equal 180. Still going to give me 38.2. Okay. All right. I'll see you all in the next video.